Take that dress off right now. Across the marble ballroom, black maid Lena Brooks stood frozen beside a table of crystal glasses while billionaire Adrian Cole's fiancée, Vivienne, stared at her with open disgust. Lena had not worn anything extravagant. Just a simple midnight blue gown Adrian's late mother had given her for the charity gala. But Vivienne hated one thing about it. The silver state seal pin at Lena's shoulder. "Where did you get that?" Vivienne asked. Lena touched the pin. "It was given to me." "By whom?" Before Lena could answer, Vivienne grabbed the fabric near her shoulder. The gown tore with a sharp rip. Gasps spread through the ballroom. Lena stepped back, clutching the torn dress against herself. Adrian turned from a group of donors. "Vivienne." She looked at him as if nothing had happened. "She's pretending to be someone she isn't." Lena's face burned. 200 guests were watching, including reporters, executives, and the governor himself. Vivienne pointed at the pin. "That belongs to the governor's office. She stole it." Adrian looked at Lena. Before Lena could answer, the governor stood. He looked directly across the room. Not at Vivienne. Lena. Recognition flashed across his face. "Madam Director." The ballroom fell silent. Vivienne slowly turned. Lena knew the night had become far more dangerous than a torn dress. 6 hours earlier, Lena had been polishing silverware in Adrian's penthouse kitchen when an envelope arrived by private courier. No return address. Only her name. Lena Brooks. Inside were the gown, silver pin, and a handwritten card. "Tonight. We're both. Do not tell Adrian yet." Signed. Governor Malcolm Reed. Lena stared at the signature. For 3 months, nobody in the Cole household knew Lena had been doing 2 jobs. By day, she worked as Adrian's maid. At night, she reviewed emergency housing files for the State Recovery Commission. It started after a winter storm destroyed hundreds of homes in Southbridge, where Lena grew up. The state promised emergency grants, but most families never received them. Lena collected rejection letters, compared addresses, and tracked the money. She found a pattern. Millions in relief funds had been redirected into private, reconstruction partnerships. One company appeared again and again. Cross Development Group. Vivienne's family company. Lena sent her findings anonymously to the governor. 2 weeks later, his office contacted her. To recruit her. The commission had been compromised. The governor needed someone the developers would never suspect. Lena became acting director of the commission's confidential review unit. Only 4 people knew. The governor, his chief counsel, Lena, and a federal auditor due tonight. The charity gala was supposed to raise money for the same families whose relief funds had vanished. That was why Lena accepted the invitation, and feared the guest list. Vivienne Cross. Her father, Charles Cross. 3 Cross development executives. And Adrian. Adrian had no idea his fiancée's family was under investigation. Lena had wanted to tell him, but every time she came close, something stopped her. Last week, her apartment had been searched. Nothing was stolen, but state files beneath her floorboards had been moved. Yesterday, someone followed her brother from work. Then this morning, a message appeared on her phone. "Don't go to the gala." Lena went anyway. At 7:30, the ballroom doors opened. Vivienne entered wearing a white couture gown and diamonds. Adrian walked beside her. Vivienne looked like a bride at a charity event built around money her family may have stolen. For the first hour, nothing happened. Then Lena noticed Charles Cross speaking privately with the governor's chief counsel. The counsel looked nervous as Charles slipped him a small black card. Lena's stomach tightened. That man was one of only 4 people who knew her real role. 10 minutes later, the counsel disappeared, and Vivienne approached Lena. "You clean Adrian's house?" "Yes." "So why are you dressed like a guest?" "I was invited." Vivienne smiled coldly. "By Adrian?" "No." That answer bothered her. Then she saw the pin. Everything changed. Now, with her dress torn, Lena realized Vivienne had recognized more than the seal. She knew what it meant. The governor started walking toward them. Vivienne whispered, "Don't say anything." Lena looked at her. "About what?" Vivienne's eyes hardened. "Southbridge." Adrian heard it. "What about Southbridge?" Vivienne ignored him. The governor reached Lena and removed his jacket. He placed it gently around her shoulders. Then he faced the room. "For anyone confused," he said, "Ms. Lena Brooks is the acting director of the Confidential Review Unit overseeing the Southbridge recovery investigation." Whispers exploded as Vivienne's father shot to his feet. Adrian stared at Lena. "You're a director." Lena nodded once. "I was going to tell you tonight." Vivienne laughed. "This is absurd." "She serves coffee." The governor turned toward her. "And she also found $31 million that never reached storm victims." Charles Cross shouted, "Governor, be careful." The governor looked at him. "I am." Lena watched Charles's face. Fear. Then every screen in the ballroom went black. The charity presentation vanished, replaced by a single document. Southbridge Recovery. Confidential Payment Authorization. Lena's blood ran cold. That file was classified. Only her review unit had access. A red circle appeared around one signature. Adrian Cole. Adrian stared at the screen. "I never signed that." Vivienne looked at Lena. She smiled. "Now tell them who the thief really is." Lena stepped closer to the screen. The signature was convincing. The authorization moved $8 million from emergency housing funds into a private construction account. Adrian's account. The governor whispered, "This file wasn't in the packet I received." Lena looked toward the empty chair where the chief counsel had been sitting. He was still missing. Then her phone vibrated. A photograph appeared. The governor's chief counsel was lying unconscious in a service corridor. Beside him sat Lena's stolen evidence case. A message followed. "You have 10 minutes to confess or Adrian goes down with you." Adrian looked at her phone. "What is that?" Before she could answer, security officers entered the ballroom. Not Adrian's security. State police. Their commander walked directly toward Lena. "Ms. Brooks, step away from the governor." Vivienne folded her arms. Charles Cross smiled. The commander held up a warrant. "You are being detained for theft of state evidence and conspiracy to divert recovery funds." Adrian stepped between Lena and the officers. "She's not going anywhere." The commander looked at him. "Mr. Cole, your name is on the same warrant." Adrian froze. The governor turned toward his security detail. "Who authorized this?" No one answered. Then Lena saw something that made her forget the torn dress. Across the ballroom, the supposedly unconscious chief counsel was standing behind a curtain, watching her, smiling. And beside him was the federal auditor Lena had been waiting to meet. The auditor raised one finger to his lips, then pointed toward Vivienne. Lena followed his gaze. A tiny black drive was hidden inside the torn piece of her gown still clenched in Vivienne's hand. Lena understood. Vivienne had not torn the dress to humiliate her. She had torn it to steal the evidence sewn inside. And now everyone in the ballroom was looking in the wrong direction. The state police commander reached for Lena's arm. Adrian moved between them. "I said she's not going anywhere." The commander's expression hardened. "Mr. Cole, step aside." Lena's eyes stayed on Vivienne's hand. The torn piece of midnight blue fabric was still wrapped around her fingers. Inside the fabric something black glinted. A drive. "Governor," Lena said quietly, "don't let anyone leave." Charles Cross laughed. "You're under arrest and still giving orders." Governor Reed looked at Lena. "What did you see?" Across the room, the governor's security detail quietly sealed every exit while reporters lowered their cameras, sensing the gala had become a crime scene overnight. She pointed toward Vivienne. "The evidence case they found in the corridor was a decoy." Vivienne's face changed. Lena continued. "The real drive was stitched into my dress." Vivienne immediately dropped it. "Too late." Adrian picked it up. A small black drive slid onto the marble floor. The police commander reached for the drive. Governor Reed stopped him. "Don't touch it." The commander frowned. "Sir, until I know who authorized that warrant, nobody touches anything." The supposedly unconscious chief counsel stepped from behind the curtain. "Daniel." The counsel raised both hands. "I can explain." Lena looked at the federal auditor standing behind him. He nodded once. "Let him." Daniel swallowed. The attack in the service corridor was staged. Adrian stared at him. "You helped frame her." "No." Daniel looked toward Charles. "I was trying to force whoever compromised the commission to move first." Lena's anger rose. "You used me as bait without telling me." "I couldn't tell you. We suspected someone inside the governor's office." Governor Reed's face tightened. "And you suspected me?" "No. Your security command." Every eye shifted toward the state police commander. He slowly lowered his hand. Then his radio crackled. A voice said, "Package is moving." The commander turned. The federal auditor shouted, "Stop him!" The commander ran. Adrian's security tackled him before he reached the side exit. His radio hit the floor. Second voice came through. "Cross team abort. Director still has the drive." Charles Cross froze. Vivienne whispered, "Dad." Charles looked at his daughter. "Say nothing." Adrian picked up the radio. "Who is this?" Silence. Then a man answered. "You should have signed when you had the chance." Adrian's expression changed. He recognized the voice. "Uncle Raymond." Lena looked at him. Raymond Cole was chairman emeritus of Cole Development and Adrian's father's younger brother. The radio went dead. Governor Reed turned to the auditor. "How deep does this go?" The auditor looked at Lena. "Deeper than the Cross family." Lena picked up the drive. "Then we open it now." Daniel shook his head. "That drive isn't just financial records. What else is on it?" "Surveillance." Adrian looked at him. "Of whom?" "Everyone who tried to expose Southbridge." Lena inserted the drive into the ballroom presentation console. A password screen appeared. 3 attempts remaining. Vivienne stared at it. Charles barked, "Don't." Lena looked at him. "You know the password." "No." "You reacted like you did." Charles said nothing. Adrian stepped closer to Vivienne. "Do you?" Her face tightened. "My mother used to say Southbridge was built on promises." Lena typed promises. Incorrect. 2 attempts remaining. Vivienne shook her head. She always said, "Promises are for people who can't enforce contracts." Lena tried contracts. Incorrect. 1 attempt remaining. Then Lena remembered the state seal pin. The governor had sent it with the gown. She removed it and turned it over. Tiny numbers were engraved beneath the clasp. Lena entered them. Access granted. Folders filled the screen. Southbridge transfers. Employee accounts. Cole authorizations. Cross development. Then one folder appeared in red. Director replacement plan. Lena clicked it. Her photograph appeared. Beside it was a timeline of her movements for the past 8 weeks. Lena opened the next file. A contract appeared. It authorized a private firm to remove Lena from the commission before the gala. The payment came from a company called Meridian Civic Partners. Adrian went still. "I own 40% of Meridian." Lena looked at him. "You funded this." "No." "Who controls the other 60%? No one answered. Then the screen changed by itself. A live camera feed appeared. It showed Adrian's penthouse. Someone was inside his study. A man wearing gloves opened a hidden safe. He removed a folder. Adrian stepped toward the screen. "That safe requires my fingerprint." The man turned slightly. Lena recognized him from photographs. Raymond Cole. Adrian's uncle. Raymond looked directly into the camera as if he knew they were watching. Then he held up a document. Across the top were the words, "Adrian Cole, Emergency removal authorization. Vivienne whispered. What is that? Adrian's face drained of color. Governor Reed looked at him. Adrian. He read the second line. If I'm declared mentally unfit, control of Cole Holdings transfers to my spouse. I never signed anything. Charles shouted. Vivienne, stop talking. Lena looked at the document again. The spouse line was blank. The effective date was tomorrow. Then Raymond placed another paper beside it. A marriage certificate. Already signed. That's impossible. Adrian looked at her. Is it? She shook her head violently. I swear to you I didn't know. Lena believed one thing immediately. Vivienne was terrified. Then Lena's phone vibrated. A message appeared from an unknown number. You found the wrong conspiracy. A second message followed. If you want the real director alive, come to Southbridge Hospital. Attached was a photograph. A black woman sat in a hospital bed, unconscious but alive. Governor Reed saw her. His face collapsed. No. Lena looked at him. Who is she? The governor whispered. The woman who held your job before you. Lena stared at the photograph. Governor Reed continued. She disappeared 6 months ago. Vivienne stepped closer. Her voice shook. My mother told me she was dead. Lena turned sharply. Your mother knew her. Vivienne's eyes filled with fear. She was my aunt. And suddenly Lena understood why Vivienne had recognized the director's pin before anyone else. Lena stared at Vivienne. Your aunt? Vivienne nodded. Dr. Marisol Cross. My mother's younger sister. Governor Reed looked between them. She was the first director of the confidential review unit. 6 months ago, she vanished after telling me Southbridge was bigger than missing relief money. Adrian's jaw tightened. And your mother told you she was dead? She said Marisol died in a car accident overseas. Lena looked at the hospital photograph. Someone wanted everyone to stop looking. The federal auditor stepped closer. And now they want us inside a hospital they chose. Adrian shook his head. We don't walk in blind. Lena picked up the black drive. We have one advantage. They think this is the only copy. You made another. No. The Gala system mirrors every presentation file to an off-site event server. Charles Cross went pale. Lena noticed. You knew. Charles said nothing. Vivienne turned toward her father. What else haven't you told me? You were never supposed to ask questions. Vivienne flinched. Adrian ordered trusted security to hold Charles and the compromised commander. Then Lena, Adrian, Vivienne, the governor, and the federal auditor left for Southbridge Hospital. 20 minutes later, they reached a private wing closed for renovation. No renovation equipment was visible. Lena's phone buzzed. Room 614. Come with the fiancé. Adrian read it. I'm coming. Another message arrived. No billionaire. Vivienne swallowed. They know where we are. Lena looked toward the hallway camera. Then let's give them what they expect. She and Vivienne entered the elevator alone. Vivienne stared at the floor. You think I'm part of this? You tore my dress for the drive. I did. Lena turned sharply. My father told me it contained evidence that would send my mother to prison. He said Marisol would die if I didn't take it. And you believed him. I believed the photograph he showed me. The elevator opened. Room 614 stood at the end of an empty corridor. Lena pushed the door open. Dr. Marisol Cross lay unconscious in the bed. Vivienne rushed toward her. Aunt Marisol. Marisol's eyes opened slightly. Vivienne. Vivienne grabbed her hand. I thought you were dead. Marisol looked toward Lena. You're the new director. Lena nodded. Who did this? Marisol whispered. Not Raymond. Lena's stomach tightened. Then who? Marisol looked at Vivienne. Your mother. Vivienne froze. No. Your mother built the Southbridge network before your father joined it. Vivienne stepped back. That's impossible. Marisol gripped Lena's wrist. She used the governor's office, coal development, and cross-development to move relief money through fake reconstruction contracts. Raymond protected the corporate side. And Adrian. His signature was forged to make him the fall guy. Footsteps sounded outside. Lena closed the door. Marisol pointed toward a cabinet. "There's proof." Lena opened it. Inside was a sealed evidence bag containing an old wedding contract. Not Adrian and Vivienne's. It was dated 27 years earlier. Raymond Cole. Helena Cross. Vivienne's mother. Adrian's voice came through Lena's hidden earpiece. "My uncle married her." Marisol nodded. "Secretly." Vivienne looked sick. "That means." Marisol finished it. "Raymond is your biological father." The hallway door slammed open. Two men in hospital uniforms entered. Lena shoved the evidence bag beneath her coat. Vivienne stepped in front of Marisol. "Stay away from her." One man reached for Vivienne. Lena caught his arm and twisted it aside. The second rushed forward. Adrian and security stormed into the room. The men surrendered. The federal auditor rushed into the room behind Adrian and examined the contract through plastic. His face tightened. "This explains the shell companies." Helena and Raymond could move money between both families without revealing their connection. Adrian looked at Vivienne. "Did you know?" She shook her head. "My entire engagement may have been part of their plan." Lena studied her. For the first time, Vivienne looked less like the woman who had torn her dress and more like someone realizing her life had been arranged for someone else's profit. Marisol squeezed Lena's hand. "Do not underestimate Helena. She never threatens without already preparing the next move." Then every monitor went black. A silver-haired woman appeared. Vivienne whispered, "Mom." Helena Cross smiled. "Vivienne, sweetheart. I hoped you would never learn this way." Adrian stared at the screen. Helena continued, "Lena Brooks has something that belongs to me." Lena held the evidence bag tighter. "If you want Marisol to leave alive, bring the original drive and marriage contract to the old Southbridge courthouse." The screen changed. A live feed appeared. Governor Reed was tied to a chair inside the courthouse. Lena's breath caught. Helena smiled. "And bring Adrian too. His signature is the last one I need." The feed cut. Vivienne looked at Lena. "My mother isn't hiding anymore." Lena stared at the contract. "No." Adrian's expression darkened. "She's trying to finish it." The Southbridge courthouse had been abandoned for 9 years. Tonight, every window was glowing. Lena sat beside Adrian in the SUV, the original drive and the secret marriage contract beneath her coat. Vivienne sat opposite them. "My mother will expect me to betray you," she said. Lena looked at her. "Will you?" Vivienne met her eyes. "No." Adrian checked his watch. "Then we make sure she believes you might." They entered through the courthouse's rear entrance. A single light led them toward the courtroom. Governor Reed sat tied to a chair beside the witness stand. Helena Cross stood near the judge's bench. Raymond Cole was beside her. Adrian stopped. "Uncle." Raymond smiled. "You finally came." Helena looked at Lena. "The drive." Lena held it up. "Release the governor first." Helena laughed. "You still think you're negotiating?" Vivienne stepped forward. "Mother, stop." Helena's expression softened. "You don't understand what I built for you. You built it for yourself." Raymond moved toward Adrian. "Sign the emergency authorization and this ends." Adrian looked at the document. "It transfers control of Cole Holdings to Vivienne." Helena smiled. "Exactly." Vivienne stared at her. "You wanted me married to him so you could control both companies. And protect what belongs to our family." Lena answered. "You mean money stolen from storm victims." Helena's face hardened. "People forget where money comes from. They remember who controls it." Lena removed the marriage contract. Raymond's confidence vanished. "Where did you get that?" "Marisol kept better records than you expected." Helena looked at Vivienne. Take it from her. For 1 second nobody moved. Then Vivienne walked toward Lena. Helena smiled. Vivienne reached for the contract. And turned. She slapped it onto the courtroom projector. The secret marriage certificate appeared across the wall. Raymond Cole. Helena Cross. Adrian stared at his uncle. Vivienne faced the security camera above the doors. My mother and Raymond Cole created the Southbridge shell network. They used Adrian's forged signature and my engagement to take control of Cole Holdings. Helena screamed. Turn that off. Lena smiled. It's already streaming. The governor looked up. To where? The Gala's off-site server, Lena said. And the federal auditor. Sirens erupted outside. Raymond ran toward the side exit. Adrian blocked him. Helena grabbed the drive from Lena's pocket and threw it toward the fireplace. Vivienne moved first. She caught Helena's wrist. You used me my entire life. Helena stared at her daughter. I made you powerful. No. You made me useful. Lena recovered the drive. Federal agents entered seconds later. Raymond and Helena were arrested. The governor was freed. Charles Cross later cooperated, exposing the reconstruction companies used to move the stolen funds. Weeks later, more than $31 million was recovered for Southbridge families. Adrian's forged authorizations were cleared. Marisol returned to testify. Vivienne's engagement to Adrian ended, and she faced consequences for stealing the drive and helping hide evidence. At the State Recovery Commission ceremony, Governor Reed stood before hundreds of families. He called Lena to the stage. Not as a maid. Not as an investigator. As the permanent director of the recovery unit. Adrian watched from the front row. The governor smiled. Madam Director. This time nobody laughed. Lena looked across the room at families receiving the money meant for them. Vivienne had torn her dress to humiliate her. Instead, that act revealed the hidden drive, opened a conspiracy linking two powerful families, and brought Southbridge's stolen millions back into the light. The woman everyone had mistaken for a maid had been holding the investigation together. By the time Helena realized it, the truth was already public.